Hello and welcome to another week of Obscura Undead Reviews. I'm Azy.
I'm Maus.
And this week we're going to be reviewing something for you, I don't know, I don't even know how to encapsulate this album. New wave.
Glam Goth.
Glam Goth.
Post-punk, death rock inspired.
Batcave experimental in some ways.
All-out buffet of entertainment.
Absolutely. And you might be wondering, who are we reviewing? Well, if you saw the video title, you will know that we are reviewing the debut album from Toronto-based, let's just go with Glam Goth band, Jay Draper and The Subterraneans, debut album, Behind the Light. Now, obviously, the front person of this band is Jay Draper. It's right there in the name. And
on the album cover.
Yeah, right on the album cover. And I have to assume that the Subterraneans are all of these just really awesome people of just the goth rock underground that he is collaborating with on this project.
There are tons of people in the collaboration on this album. If you go to the Bandcamp, there's like a little chart below that shows which tracks everybody is on. We've got, well, first of all, Jay Draper and the Subterraneans together as a group is Jay Draper and also Justin Minister, who is of Amy's Arms and Sex Gang Children.
Yes, and if you haven't, I'm sure you guys have heard of Sex Gang Children, but if you haven't heard of Amy's Arms, that is an amazing, like, mid-2000s female-fronted goth rock band from, I believe, Toronto, too. And fabulous sound. Go check them out. But first, listen to this album, because some of the other folks that they have collaborating are production and synths from Ian Revell from Double Eyelid, some backing vocals on at least the first two tracks from Kat Samuels of Notre Dame. So you have these really amazing femme vocals.
Yeah, she's on 4 tracks.
4?
4 tracks.
See, I just remember 2 very in particular.
It says tracks 1, 5, really 7, strong. And 9. So she's all over. And then you have, there's Paul Mercer, who is, I've already lost the key here. Oh, okay. Does violin and viola from the Changelings, Faith in the Muse, and his own solo work. We have Jay Falk, who is drums, bass, and songwriter for Bloody Blue Darlings, and bass player for Notre Dame. And there's more, right? Margaret Nickel, who's the singer for White Noise Conspiracy and Blue Hour, and does synth and backing vocals for Perdition and Her Beautiful Death. So the musicians that is collaborating on this album are vastly experienced, and
across a wide range of like goth and goth adjacent sounds.
Yes, and many different types of instruments as well being incorporated into this sound, which really gives it this like full, all-out, like almost like Broadway-esque extravaganza.
Broadway-esque. Well, one thing I liked is that, yes, you have that big, huge, full sound, especially when the album starts right off with the track Belly of the Beast. Which
I love this track so hard.
I know that I listened to like 30 seconds of this track and I was just like, Maus is going to love this. We need to review this.
Like it just started, I like 30 seconds and I was like, oh, I love this. You know, I couldn't even get into the shower. I was just kind of like half in, half out. Just like, I love this. It starts out like ethereal dark wave layered with like prominent backing vocals. That would be Kat Samuels, I suppose. Mm-hmm.
You got these like Cure pop style guitars almost, and these super post-punk drums.
Yes, and then Jay's vocals.
His vocals.
Fantastic.
He reminds me of like a weird mix between Fear Cult and Human Drama.
Just old school, like death rock, old school gothic. Theatrical. Theatrical
is a great word, but I feel like he also kind of like has, you know, more of, I don't want to say crooning because it's not, I don't quite think it's crooning, but it's still like sensual.
There is some crooning in there because there's some range in his vocals because he hit some notes and kept them elongated for such a long time. I was also trying to do that in the shower. I can't do it. But beautiful, beautiful track. And theatrical. That's the main theme of this album, I think.
I think so, because this album is really dynamic. And then you get to the second track, which is one of the lead tracks. It's the only track you can listen to on the album, even though, some exist on some of the singles. But Stand for the Fire Demon, which combines this like huge sound with this whole segment like towards the middle endish that's pulled back and is almost like this ambient breakdown with like slam vocal, like slam poetry kind of vocals and these interesting like vocal effects that just make it such an experience.
Yes, for sure. You've got like the epic post-punk style. I felt the vocals and the guitars in the chorus were very death rock. Like the wailing guitar death rock that you normally hear.
You're talking about like the weirdness.
Yes, but we were talking before about how there is theatrical, like almost circusy death rock.
Oh yeah, I call it carnival death rock. I wouldn't quite call this carnival death rock. That
was the word that it came to mind because when the chorus starts scaling back and then there's just the spoken word stuff, it was almost, this is what made me think of like a Broadway play, like you're watching like Rocky Horror on Broadway or something and then it just scales back and then the singer like comes out and like tells you a story. Yeah. While the song is happening and it like there's and a lot going on it's just all beautifully tied together and well written.
And make no mistakes, like these songs are stories and like very human stories.
Stand for the Fire Demon is what is going on in the chorus, and I don't even know what the story is behind that. I don't know who the Fire Demon is, but it's quite epic. It's quite epic.
Right. I wish I could remember any of the lyrics. This is why I need to write them down.
And I was singing the lyrics. It's slightly different. Something about the Fire Demon, and then once you go on to the next tracks, the following two tracks are not quite as epic as the first two.
I strongly disagree with that statement because I think that Skin is an incredibly epic track in a very different way. So rather than being this huge flowing kind of track, it has these really cool synth elements and this very pulled back vibe. And I didn't write down what the lyrics were, but I wrote down that I loved the lyrics.
I felt that it was also very ethereal, ambient. I heard what I felt was like a theremin, so you've got that weird synth going on.
Oh yeah, they had so many cool synth effects that yeah.
And it was like a poetic piece.
Mm-hmm.
So like this and a couple of other tracks on the album were very poetic. And it still made me feel like I was watching a Broadway production. How it just jumps from the exciting songs to the strong ones that are carrying a message.
To scene. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Skin, just putting it out there right now before we move on, it's my favorite track off the album.
Really?
Yeah.
You like the weird theremin one?
I think I tend to like the ones that are just kind of like, what just
When I'm trying to guess your tracks, I should just look for the one where I note down the word weird. That's how I know which one you like.
I mean, okay, so I'm going to guess your favorite track right now. Is it track 9, Behind the Night?
It was definitely one of my top. It was very, very hard for me to decide because Belly of the Beast, Behind the Night, and Get a Grip were my top 3.
Get a Grip is my second favorite song, but we'll get to that one in a second. Land of Anxiety goes back to post-punk drums and guitars. You have these big, like, very wave vocals. Would you describe any of his vocals at any point as, like, maybe Brian Eno?
Yes. Yes, for sure. That always goes into the, like, the experimental, like, electronic vein. But a lot of it just made me nostalgic for old school goth, like even like Incubus, Succubus, and XML Deutschland kind of stuff, and like his voice just reminded me of those kind of bands.
Mm-hmm. See, this reminded me very specifically of like early 90s.
Yes.
And which makes me so happy because we're in a 90s throwback period right now, and I like to see the whole range of the 90s coming back.
Yeah, and late 80s also acceptable.
Right. Scatterbrain and Inside Out, they were good tracks, but they didn't grip me the same way as track 7, Get a Grip.
Yeah, Scatterbrain features Ian of Double Eyelid. That one's kind of ballady and operatic. Still reminded me of like a musical. Mm-hmm. Inside Out, which was the track after Scatterbrain, was catchy, classic goth style, energetic and all. It was more like a pop goth, glam goth track.
Yeah. And they were still good tracks, but
there are some definite standout tracks. And Get a Grip
was one of those. Track 7. The first thing that just caught my attention so fucking hard about this song is the vocal rhythm. Just the rhythm of the lyrics, very much kind of punctuated, you know?
It's like a driving chanting epic.
Yeah, chanting. Yeah.
Chanting. Slower, dark wave synth. And you know, we've probably just thrown out every single goth genre there is. All of that is happening in the music, no lie. But it's still, every single song is still so well written that it's catchy. And, you know, a song like this, even though it's like a chanting epic, it's just addicting sounding. It's addictive. Then there's the last 3 tracks on the album. Mistakes is a folky, acoustic.
Do you know what I thought when this track started up the first time I heard it?
Poetry slam.
No, I thought, is someone playing Major Tom?
What? Really?
The guitar.
Oh.
And then you kind of had like the space age synths, and I was just
theremin
like,
again.
I don't know if this is.
It could just be normal synths. That everything sounds like a theremin to me. Like once it has like that wobbly, like, you know, sci-fi.
Yeah, and then track 9, Behind the Night, which you get back to that and you're just like, wow, we have almost come full circle. This is absolutely amazing.
Behind the Night and Belly of the Beast together. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Multi-layered vocals. That really does it for me. That's what puts a song in the top for me, is that when you could write multiple vocal melodies and make it sound good. I think this is another one of those tracks that they say Kat Samuels does the backing vocals and additional vocal arrangements. Yes, track 9. So track 1, 5, 7, and 9. That is Belly of the Beast, Scatterbrain, Get a Grip, and Behind the Night. Kat Samuels does backing vocals on. And that's why those tracks are in the top. Also, Jay Falk does guest bass. And I really enjoyed this one. It also, you know, had that like kind of like fist pumping, like Ghost or Kiss or something going on.
God.
Like not in a bad way at all. Like just fun and epic.
Okay.
And it was a grand time.
And then the album rounds out with the track You Must Be Mad, which after Behind the Night, I had to listen to it on its own without anything else around it for a while because it did get, in my opinion, lost after Behind the Night, which was such a big track.
And we've mentioned that before about like song placement, about like if you have just one track that is at the end and it's behind a song that's so good, it gets lost in the shadow. So what's it called? You Must Be Mad. It might have its own personality. I don't really know, but I didn't detect it because I was just going back to Behind the Night.
Yeah, same. But this was a fun album. This was really great. This is another one of those.
It was beautiful. There were many tracks on here that I will revisit. So entertaining. You can tell like so many people contributed to it. And I love it. And I hope that, we have more music from Jay Draper and the Subterraneans.
Right. And I like just the diversity of kind of like the sounds that we heard, because it's definitely a well-produced album, but there's still so much like, sometimes when an album has too much production, it gets, I don't know what the word for it is. It's like, it gets too rounded.
I like that. I listen to a lot of, very mastered, very produced kind of stuff, and I love it.
Oh, I listen to a lot of like lo-fi. You
recorded in the basement music.
What?
Recorded in the basement music.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's all good. It's always good. I like it. I like all of it. But when you look at the aesthetics of this album, it has that glam sci-fi feel.
I thought it was going to be more synthwave based on the album cover.
I thought it would be too, but it was a lot more nostalgic classic goth than I expected. And I think that people who are looking for a great goth album will really enjoy this.
I think so too. So with that said, go check them out. We'll have the link in the description below. Enjoy the album. It comes out on February 5th, so at the end of this week on Bandcamp Friday.
Yes. I cannot wait for you guys to hear it and then come back to our review and listen to our review again.
Or don't listen to us again, but please do comment and say like, you know what, my favorite track was Skin. Azy is right. Azy is always right.
No, the best track is Belly of the Beast.
Well, we'll let the comments decide, Maus.
Yes, we will.
All right, so that being said, next week we are going to be reviewing
the new.
Yeah, we're going to be reviewing the new release from Dead Astronauts. Yeah.
Super stoked. Also, if you guys in your travels come across new albums that have dropped, new goth albums, do let us know. We'll consider it for review.
Yeah, I mean, we can only review so many, but we've been trying to hit a more diverse range of what we are reviewing, though, just for fun and to keep ourselves, I guess, entertained, and you entertained, and maybe we pick some albums that you're just like, why,
why, Azy, why? This is so weird.
Yeah, why, Azy? Why haven't you reviewed something really death rock? It's like,
we will.
There is actually a release in December that I really did want to review, but we're moving forward.
We can get to it.
All right, so thank everyone for watching, and check us out on twitch.tv/obscuraundead. Every Wednesday we have a new music radio. That's where I let the death rock out. It's great. Thursdays, twice a month, typically the first and the last Thursday, we have special goth talk episodes we've rebranded as Tales from the Goth Side. And just for fun. Those also get published here on YouTube, so yeah, you've probably seen them. And then Fridays we have our Obscure Undead Virtual Club, where we have various guests and a rotating crew of Obscure Undead DJs who regularly, spin together because we're a collective.
Yeah.
But subscribe, smash shit, bells, I don't give a fuck, just smash something. Get that frustration out, and a big special thank you to our Patreon supporters who help make these videos possible. We love you very much. I mean, we love everybody, but we love you guys more.
You sound so cheesy.
I know. How can you do this shit?
But it's sincere. It's sincere.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.